Hey everyone, how are we doing? Welcome to office hours today. Gonna send out an email here and gonna do homework 2 unless people come in and ask for something else, which is all right. But let me send out join in the live office hours and complete homework 2. Click here. Let's do it. Let's complete homework 2. Let's do it. Okay, so we're gonna send out the link. And we're gonna get MyPearson up and going, MyPearson Lab. If you're in the chat, how are you doing? Sign into course. Let me look at Discord over here. Say, currently doing office now. Back to once, someone said something. I tried to download jump theory. You trying to get... There we go. No one said anything yet. Go 7 said something? Oh, nice. Say he's there. Friday office hours. Okay. Assignment manager. Assignment manager. Chapter 2 homework. Place questions. Let's do it. This will be quick. If anyone's in the chat, feel free to say hi. I was going to put in the chat that I'm doing this. Let's put in the chat that I'm doing it. In the Discord chain. Okay, step 1. Working on chapter 2 homework on YouTube right now. Grayson, what's up? We're about to do chapter 2 homework. I'm going to add all the stat tool 1 people. And let people come in. There we go. Working on homework live on YouTube. And stat 2. How you doing, Grayson? Let me give you some points. Points. Stat 207. 207. There we go. Okay. You've got some points right there, and we've got the homework. So have your chapter 2 homework open. I'm doing good. It's been a good morning. It's a nice, relaxing morning. These are my mornings where I come to work a little bit later. So it's really nice. It's like I have some early mornings. Tomorrow will be an early morning. And then today I got to come to work a little bit later, but I'm here till like 7 p.m. at night. So a little later at night. So just mix it up. You do the different days, different things, right? That's a good thing to do. Keeps you fresh. Ella, good to see you there. Have chapter 2 homework open because, and we'll throw you some points too, Ella. It is time for Stat 201, MyPearson homework, chapter 2. Let's do this. So the homework's actually easier than the quiz on this one. So get ready to do some quiz questions right after this. Now, when it comes to the quiz, everyone gets a different quiz. I mean, they're sampled from different questions. The questions are just random on the quiz. Homework's static, so if you see how to do the homework, you can get 100 on the homework. So remember that for future videos when you're like, I don't know how to do the homework. If I got a video doing the homework, you can see how to do every question. Then you just got to do it, and sometimes they change up the numbers or the outcomes, but just read it and follow along. So the first thing we have right here is a pie chart. You can make a pie chart of your favorite what and a bar chart of your favorite what's. It's up there. Tell me part of that saying just to help me know that you remember it. We talked about this in class. This is univariate categorical displays of data. You can make a pie chart of your favorite what's. You can make a pie chart of your favorite what's. You can make a pie chart of your favorite what's. Anyone know? You could literally make a pie chart of your favorite pies and a bar chart of your favorite bars. And it deals with categories. And the reason we say this, so Grayson, great answer right there. We'll throw you some points. The reason we say this is because if we say, you ask someone what is their favorite pie, that's a categorical question. So it helps us remember that pie charts are for categories, because if you think you can ask someone what's your favorite pies, and when you see the pie chart, you're like, oh yeah, they're interchangeable, pies and bars. Like the question, what's your favorite bar? What's your favorite pie? Lead to categorical data because the question itself is categorical in nature. Now, to make a pie chart, you have to have the categories not overlap. That's kind of a fun fact. You can't have someone say the movie is R and G rated. That'd be weird, and it can't be. So the first one is, yes, this is a proper display of data because it's not overlapping. And now it is asking us for the one with the lowest, think of an F word, free what? The one that is the most common, most common, which is I think sometimes it says least common. It wants the one with the highest what? Because we could make a table of this, which would just show us the counts of observations, but it wants to know the one that has the highest, think of an F word. Because then you remember the table thing up there, because that shows you the counts of observations too. So we're just trying to remember these words. The one that occurs most whatly, which is most common. And then we call it a something something table if we make it. Well, it is the most common right there. And we're looking at the frequency of it, which is the count of observations. So the frequency or the count of observations, we could graph it with a frequency table you see up there in the top corner. The frequency table is a table. To make a frequency table, just think about how we would draw this. We drew it in class just for practice. Because remember, this is to review too, is you could just write a table of like cat and dog and see who owns a cat, who owns a dog, and you could write down how frequently these occur, like 80 people own a dog. So frequency table shows you the counts of observations for a categorical variable, and we can see which one is most frequent in the pie chart by the size of the pie it takes up. Next question, here we go. We got a professor sending out emails right here, and let's see what kind of monster man we're looking at here. Trace, good to see you. We're on question 2. What kind of monster man is this? And we'll say the monster man. I'll say the monster man song after you say it. What kind of monster man are we looking at here? What kind of version of monster man is this? You know. What kind of version is that? He's always looking at the skew. We got to give him a... It is right skew. Great job. Right to the high. Left to the low. That's the high side, often called positive skew 2. Whatever way the monster man's tail goes. So that little rhyme right there that we remember is right to the high, left to the low, whatever way the monster man's tail goes. If you can't see, I'll redraw monster man. This color was not the best for monster man drawing. Monster man right here, you always draw the monster man like this. Give him his little tooth. Don't forget that. Very important. And there's the monster man right there for you to see. Right to the high, it is a right skew distribution. So let's look for the possible answers right here. It is definitely right skewed, and the most common emails were 1 or 2. That is where the modality is. Modality means area of concentration of data. You think of mode as most common. So between 1 and 2 were most common, and that's the modal area. Mode meaning most common, modal area. The concentrated area of data is around 1 or 2. And so we should be good there. A right skewed distribution with the concentration of data around 1 or 2. And that's got it. We're rocking and rolling. Okay, so this next one right here, how does it look? What kind of monster man we dealing with here? What kind of monster man is this? Remember, we talk about shape, center, spread. And the reason we do it in this order, it is left skewed. Great job. Why is shape so important? I ask you review questions while we're doing this, and you'll see all the answers. So why is shape so important? Why is determining the shape so very important for this? Why is determining the shape so very important for this? Why is determining the shape so very, very important? Yeah, we'll do some quiz stuff too, Daryl. You got it. Name a quiz question. We'll do it right after this. Why is determining the shape so very important? This is like almost like a teaching to the test moment. Because once you know the shape, it tells you, and Daryl got us some points right there. Great job, Daryl. Yeah. It tells us what the center and spread will be. So because this is skewed, we will use the median and IQR respectively. So the shape determines the proper center and spread. So that might help out with this one, or it might not. It'll probably help with some knowledge, especially the test. So this is definitely a left skewed monster man. Definitely, we know that. And next we go on here, and where is the central areas of data? Now, if you look at this, we're probably only saying it has one mode because this is around 76 and this is around 82 or so. And I think I only see the answer around 76 and right here. This is not a major mode. It's the major modal area where the concentration of data is there. The other answer of between 64 to 66 is contained over here, which there is no mode in that area. I mean, it's not a mode. So they're saying it is unimodal, meaning one mode. It does have slight bimodality if we choose to interpret it ourselves. Here goes the next one. Let's take a look. It is the same monster man, so our knowledge of previous answers is going to come into play right here on what we use. How do we know? Let me look at the question. How do we know what will be larger, the mean or the median? Here's a saying for you to remember. The mean follows the skew. So imagine we have data like this, or we have data like this. And I were to plot where the median is at. The median represents the what percentile in data. As though I've divided this up, do a little better. The median represents, that's probably pretty good. The median represents the what percentile in data. The median represents the what percentile in data? The 50th. So if I drew this accurately, it's like if this was a slice of pizza and a kid said, I want half the pizza. I said, okay, I'll cut it. These should be equal amount of area of pizza in the slice. And the thing is, when we have outliers or skew, the mean will follow the skew. Does that make sense? Whatever way it is skewed, the mean gets pulled because the mean is influenced by extreme values. So the mean follows the skew. That's a huge note to have. So if it is right skewed, what will be higher, the mean or the median? If it's right skewed, what will be higher, the mean or the median? If it's right skewed. If it's right skewed, what will be higher, the mean or the median? Ooh. If it's right skewed. If it's right skewed, what will be higher? Now, you might be answering your question. It's Grayson. Grayson, you get 500 points right there, Grayson. Thank you so much. Don't worry. You might have been answering the question on the screen, so don't worry. This is where I review, make sure we know the concept, and write down the note that the mean follows the skew. Great job, Yan, right there. So if it's left skewed, the mean will be lower than the median versus right skewed, the mean... Monster Man doesn't have a tooth. There we go. He did not have a tooth either. If it's left skewed, the mean will be lower than the median. And let's look at the question they ask. Ella, don't worry, you get some points too. It's just practice. We say get it wrong in class to get it right on the test. You do the Dumbledore thing where you take the answer and just take it out of your head and it's gone. It's gone. So with this, we look at this histogram right here. We see it's left skew, which means the mean is going to be lower. So it says what will be larger? The median will be larger because the mean is going to get pulled to the left side because the distribution is left skewed. And that should do it. I don't know if there's more parts to that. Okay, here we go. What should we use? The distribution is skewed. Use the what? The distribution is used. Use the what? The distribution is skewed. Use the what? When it's skewed, the right measure of center is the what? Because it's not impacted by outliers and skew. When it's skewed, use the what? These are things to write down. When distribution is skewed, the right measure of center is the what? The median. Grayson right there with some more points, getting all the points during office hours. Let's continue on. You got it, Grayson. Another student surveys members of her student class, whatever, student class club. Oh, there we go. It finds that the balance on their credit card is strongly skewed. Makes sense. Extreme values. Madeline, good to see you there. She would be better off reporting which as a typical measure of center. Super easy. A, B, C, or D. Now, there's only two measures of center on this screen. Because of the heavy skew, she should be reporting what is the typical measure. A, B, C, or D. Good test questions, too. There's a lot of questions that kind of ask you this. What do you think, A, B, C, or D? Don't worry about getting it wrong. Yours might be, Grayson, yeah, yours might be D for median. And it is the median. And they mix it up. So you can't just, yeah, good work. And the IQR would be the right measure of spread. The accompanying histogram right here. And it wants to know, should we do standard deviation or IQR? Now I'm going to ask you a slightly different question. Standard deviation and IQR are measures of what? Standard deviation and IQR are measures of what? Spread. Daryl got it right there for some points. And so when you look at it visually, I'm trying to see if there's a good visualization of it. Looks like no one did a great visualization showing you the differences. The thing to know is if data is normal, write this down, use the standard deviation. If data is skewed, use the IQR for measures of spread. I'm gonna write this on the notes. Try have something like this. Determine, here's the steps. 1, determine the shape of the histogram. And normal or skewed. Dang it. This is the really good notes I would have. Normal or skewed with outliers. It can have outliers and be skewed or whatever. So like that, or kind of like that-ish. That's fine. Or skewed, or extreme, outliers, things like that. So there's your 2 options. 2 is going to be correct measure of spread or center. Use right measure of center, and it's going to be the mean for that one and the median for the others. And then 3, use right measure of spread, and it's going to be the standard deviation, which is the typical distance from the mean, or the IQR, the interquartile range, which is the IQR. And so right here, if you were to choose at the start that it's normal, you would use the mean and standard deviation respectively. If you were to choose that it's skewed, you use the median and IQR. And as Daryl said earlier, you have to first determine the shape, and then the center, the appropriate center and spread naturally follow. I'll change this to appropriate, because skew dramatically impacts the mean and standard deviation. So if the distribution is skewed, we don't want to use those. So we look at this and we say it's skewed. Since it is skewed, we're going to report the IQR, and because it's skewed. There we go. Perfectly in line with what we're learning. IQR because it's skewed. Grayson on fire. I like it, Grayson. Keep answering. This one is the one that gets people stuck right here. A lot of people get stuck on this, but let's do it pretty quickly right here, and I'll help you out. I just want a few words from you every once in a while. So we have right here the speeding tickets people get. How many speeding tickets? I've gotten 1 in like 43 years. How many speeding tickets do you have? If you want to share, you don't have to share. Probably a lot of people are going to have 3. That's all right, Grayson. Hey, Grayson, 500 points. Don't worry. We're here to spread positivity. That's okay. Drive safe. That's okay. Cargo fast. We'll put a little bump right there, Grayson, for you with 3. So 1 in about 25. So I guess I haven't been driving for 43 years. Vroom, vroom. So there, we got this little bump around 1 and bump around 3. And so there you go right there. So if you notice, a lot of people are going to have between like 0 to 3-ish, and then it's going to be a right skewed because a lot of people are going to have very few speeding tickets. So we probably have a right skew monster man. It'll be unimodal around that one area. I know I did a little bimodality. And it'll be skewed because a lot of people are going to have 0 and 1, with not a lot of people having a ton of speeding tickets. The next one is how many strokes people take in a golf game. This one is my least favorite of these questions. The other ones are really good. This one, I'll just tell you how they do it because it's caught me off guard. What they're assuming when you have this is that there's some really good golfers, and you've got like the pros over here and the not so pro. And with this, you're going to have a left skew monster man, and the mean is going to follow the skew. So the mean is going to follow the skew, and then the median is going to be here. So if you look at this, more than 50% is above the mean. Does that make sense visually? Hey, Catherine, good to see you there. We're going to do some more work. Ask questions, you got them. About to do some quiz questions. And Mubot's there. Does it make sense that more than 50% of people will score above the mean because of the left skew? So I wish they explained it better, but that's the distribution. So they're talking down here, you have people scoring in like the 55, and over here scoring like 80 or something like that. So drawing it out really helps. It's going to be a unimodal distribution, and it's going to be skewed, and it's more golfers will score above the mean than the below the mean. I'll disappear so you can see it a little bit better. There we go. This one I really like because it's birth weights. About how much does the average baby weigh? About how much does the average baby weigh? Take a guess, or somebody like 20 pounds. I'll be like, big baby. 7 pounds, 8 pounds exactly. I think we looked up yesterday and it's like 7 pounds, 4 ounces. No clue on the pounds right there. 6 to 8 pounds exactly. And so here's the thing. Doesn't it make sense that a lot of babies are going to be contained between like 6 to 8 pounds? And then you got your big babies, you got small babies, and you got a bunch of average babies, which is all right to be an average baby. I was a big baby. I was like 9 pounds. I was Brian over here. And so with this is a symmetric monster man, a diplopia monster man right here. So this is symmetric. I was a big baby. There you go. And we can mark where we are on the distribution over here. And so you can see a lot of babies are towards the center, more average, and it's more symmetric with some smaller babies, some larger babies. And so it's going to be unimodal because it's got that one peak, symmetric, and right here, most babies will have an average with some higher and some lower. The last one is lengths of hair. Not that I've ever done this quiz before, or homework. But with the last one being lengths of hair, is there an upper or lower limit on how long your hair can be? Where's the limit on how long your hair can be? And think, is there an upper or lower limit on how long your hair can be? There's a lower limit on how long your hair can be. So we're going to hit this boundary right here of everyone who's, I got to do a little higher because I want to draw a little more on that. There we go. We're going to hit this lower limit. Then we're going to see a peak maybe there and a peak maybe there. You ever have those awkward stages of hair? Nothing against. Like, you probably heard me say this. You've already seen me. I'm always in that awkward stage of hair. Just always somewhere in there. Good to see you, Jordan. And this is maybe an awkward phase right here. It's all right. We all got that awkward phase. And then you got your hair like this length right here. And then another person. This is people, if you can't tell. And then you got a person with hair here. And then you got a person over here who's like, woo, just the longest hair ever. Because there's no boundary on how long your hair can get. So we have a very clearly what distribution? We have a very clearly what distribution? What kind of distribution we got going on right here? What kind of distribution we got going on? It's a bimodal, meaning 2 areas of concentration of data. We got your typical short hair, got your typical long hair. You can have any length hair, obviously, but kind of the typical, what we see most common, definitely right skewed, because the monster men are always looking back towards the tail, right to the high, left to low, whatever way the monster man's tail goes. Bimodal, right skewed distributions with 2 central areas of data, hence bimodality. And it's skewed, and we would see right here, men and women often have different lengths of hair. Doesn't mean you gotta have a certain length of hair. I've had my hair to my shoulders. I've done it. I've done it. We got one more, and then we'll take a quick break, and then we will do more. Drop those questions in the chat. Who's pretty much done with homework 2 right now? And we're only 20 or so minutes into this. We've only been working on this for like 20 minutes. You're done with homework 2, 20 minutes in. Hey, I like it. Okay, is it reasonable to conclude that respiratory disease were 29% of deaths? Well, if you add them up right here, they do add up. Just trust me on this. It's, what is it? Heart and respiratory here, heart disease is approximately, so 6 plus 23. Sure. And they're saying there can be no overlap. Sure. What? Oh, there's no overlap. What percent were not listed here? We only have 2 more. I think we had to look at the pie chart after this. And there's the answer. They're saying there's no overlap. And we need to add these up and subtract from 100. So 23.5 plus 22.5 plus 5 plus 5.7 plus 5, 100 minus. I messed this up last time I did it because I didn't minus from 100 properly. So add up, subtract from 100. This is actually what we call the complement. We'll cover it in chapter 12. It is everything but what occurs. We call it the complement. If you look for the other category, you can find pretty quickly which one it is, and you can check your number here. It said we were right, but that should be about a little more than a third, less than a half. Final check. One more. We did it. Okay, what homework or quiz? What quiz question should we do? We could do homework 3, but I want to point out a huge thank you. Let's throw another 500 points. I want to say, if you are here right now, what you're doing is exactly right, because you can come in here at any time to ask any question you have. Just come on here and be like, hey, Brian, do this question, and we will do said question. With that said, like I said, we can work on anything you want. You say, hey, Brian, work on this question. We do it. So drop a question in the chat, quiz question, whatever. I'm going back in time right here. I have done so many live streams. It's insane. We're gonna go find right before I cut my hair. Long hair emo Brian. If I could like snap my fingers and have long hair again, I would. I can't go through that. I can't do it again. I can't drop a quiz question in as I find this random video. I just can't. I can't go through the process of growing my hair out. That's medium length hair, Brian. I guess I did in 2020. Well, maybe I'll just like forget to cut my hair for a long time again. So when we went to Texas, what questions? Daryl, you said you wanted the quiz. We can do the quiz. I'm just wasting time right now. Quiz question? It's funny because like just watching my hair grow out in all these videos. Anybody? Bueller? People got the 100 on the homework. They're like, I'm out. Cut the 100. Oh, I'm almost there. I'm running through it trying to find the one. Yeah, is it? It's not the rain, no rain. Oh, I found it. Trying to find the stream right for cutting my hair. That's not it. When did I cut my hair? Points. Grayson, great job on those points. I'll put a little chill music on. You're welcome. Thank you. Bye, I'm almost there. Too many streams. I've done 1,000 streams since then. I'm not even kidding. I think I can show this on YouTube. It doesn't have anything. Since the stream I'm looking for, I've literally done 1,000 streams online. 1,000 streams since this. Yeah, this is about it. And then we got, so drop a question in the chat if you have it. Oh, this was the PepsiCo interview. That's great. Yep, this is the haircut I got right before I had my, I think my wife cut my hair. We're almost there. Oh, no, it's the second haircut. Too many haircuts. Let's get one haircut a year. Get a big haircut. I've done so many streams. Like, this is like, I was a baby streamer back then. There we go. Found it. This is the last stream before I cut my hair. And I was like, I'm done. It was May 24th. There's the haircut. That is the haircut. May 21st. Okay. May 21st. This is the longest my hair has ever been in a long time. So here we go. Long hair Brian is people are getting ready. Long hair. I don't like it. There. Yeah, I think it was just so long. It was like, it got to my shoulders and I was like, I'm done. Just back in the day right there. Just should just start the stream like this next class. Just I already touched my hair too much as is. There you go. Thank you, Grayson. It was just like, it just got so long. I was just like, it's cause it just falls on my face. I have very light hair. Thank you all. But it was, I definitely look like some emo band person. I'm allowed to make fun of myself, but yeah. It was, and everyone was like, no, you cut your hair! You cut your hair, no! Lord Farquaad. Lord Farquaad. Oh, you just like, I need a Lord Farquaad thing right here. I'll just, here we go. I got the, is it really? Lord Farquaad? It's too funny. There you go. Oh man. Well, okay. Drop some questions in the chat. Drop some questions in the chat. I've changed the way I have this oriented now that I take up more of this space, more room for activities, or I guess less rooms because I'm bigger. And it's like I can't reach off the screen really now. I take up the full area in here. I've like done so many adjustments to everything I have. We even brought Skeletor in. He's a new addition this semester. He's been around, but now I've got the quick button for him. I don't think he's on this world. He doesn't exist on this world. So yeah, I'm just trying to done a bunch of different things. What questions do we have? Drop them in the chat. We get chapter 2 quiz. Whatever you want. Chapter 2 quiz. What do we got? These are your office hours. It's on campus. Part of the agreement, Ellen, thank you for asking. Part of the agreement when we came back to Tennessee was I wouldn't have a at-home office. I already work too much as it is. I'll go home, I'll answer emails, I'll do Discord, I'll set up slides, I was doing a presentation last night. Question 4. And then what does that say, Jordan? Let me know, because everyone has a different one. So when we came back here, so tell me the first 3 words of it, and I'll find your question 4, and we'll do it. So when we came back to Tennessee, it was like, okay, no home office. Because I had a whole studio in Texas, and I would work a lot. Like, I was working 100+ hours a week. And here's one life tip, and then we're gonna do the assignment. Question 6, tell me what it says, Brando, because everyone has different questions, so tell me the first 3 words of it. An author collected, we got that coming up next. Quick tip is don't sit around all day. I can't tell you that I can't tell you, like, you'll never understand until you have it happen to you, that if you sit for like 10 to 12 hours a day, and then everyone, we can find all the questions, Ella, are some of the same as the quiz? If you sit for 10 to 12 hours a day, your body hurts. I didn't realize that your body will get sore, your muscles will just not have flexibility. I was like getting out of a car and I felt like an old man, and it's like you're sitting for 12 hours a day. Your hip flexors are not there, your everything, all your muscles are just not. Let's do these questions. Here we go. Jumping into it. Okay, I'm gonna take these all down right here. We've got an author collected times first. Thank you, everybody out here. Everyone gets different questions. We got an author collected times, a study looked at running times. So I'm gonna take all these down and do them in order by which they appeared. So drop in more questions. You can just say, hey, Brian, do this question. The accompanying histogram on annual, that's a fun one. And then we have only quiz question is about the movie study. Okay. Oh, the movies, and then Daryl, give me the first 2 words of it, and I'll make sure to find it. Okay, we got to find an author collected. If you see the number of years, let me know. Like, you're like, oh, wait, that one. I might move them up if I see them. The accompanying histogram. I think we found the accompanying histogram one. So here we go with the accompanying histograms. I'm gonna take the timestamp on it so people can watch this later. So you can always drop a question in and run. I'll try to ask you questions, but I'll try to teach you the topics. Okay, MyPearson Quiz Chapter 2. A study looked at the running times? Yes. Awesome. Got it on the list. Here we go. The accompanying histogram shows us traffic fatalities. And here's the data. Now, I want you to notice that the traffic fatalities are going what as the year goes on. We could actually turn this into a time plot, which is a bivariate display, but we'll worry about the histogram. But look at traffic fatalities are going where? Traffic fatalities are going where? As years go on, traffic fatalities go where? 1975, 2000, and 2013. They also collected every 5 years to start. They're going down. Great job, Brando. And so with this, we're going to look at the graphical displays of these, and you can see this is a uniform distribution of the years they collected, not that informative. Do you see these pink bars right here? Those pink bars are right over here. Because remember, in the data, the first few years, the traffic fatalities were very high. So we are seeing 1975 and 1980s traffic fatalities over here, and there's 2 observations. The heights of the bars represent how many times observations occurred in this bin. Notice how there's a lot of observations here in the low 20,000s. Well, that's because over here in the data, there's a lot of observations in the 21,000s, and look, it just kind of dips down suddenly, and that's where we get that valley, where there's not 15,000 right there. If you look at the histograms, you don't really see much data in here. That's that valley where we don't see a lot of observations. So let's go ahead and answer the questions. How many years are highlighted in the bars? How many years? So what are the years? How many years are included in the, type the years. What are the years included? Okay. Type a whole number for how many years are highlighted. Okay. How many years are highlighted? Just take a guess if you don't know. I bet you can. How many years are highlighted? How many years? How many years are highlighted? Yeah, Jordan, I'll get that one too for you. I'm gonna put it on the list. How many years are highlighted right here? How many years are highlighted? Don't worry about being wrong. Just take a guess. How many years are highlighted? 2. Daryl, you got it right there. It's 2 years. 2. And what are those years? 2 years. Just remember. So it's 2 years, and I'll answer this one. I think you saw it. 1975 and 1980. There we go. None. Oh, there we go. I was like, what's that about, Emma? Okay, there we go. We got it on the list, Ella. You got it. So we got the 2 years highlighted. Boom. I think we have to include the full. Okay, and I think we include the full. If you were to get it wrong with that, let me know and I would correct it. So if you get something wrong, you can always email and be like, hey, Brian, I put 75 and 80. I guess as we get closer to 2075, and then we got to differentiate. What do these histograms taken together say about car fatalities? Well, let's take a look right here. The total number of passenger car fatalities per year no, it doesn't say that. There have been fewer car fatalities more recently. Makes sense. That's good. It can be assumed that the number of car fatalities, we can't assume between. That's extrapolating between the data. We can't do that. The average number of passenger car fatalities per year from this is between. No, we don't know that. All we know is that they've been decreasing, and that's kind of the idea we came to at the start. One question down. Let's go find the next one. A study on body fat. University teacher saved emails. Keep dropping more questions. If you set a question, I will do it. The accompanying histogram shows, so this was fatalities. Here we'll do another accompanying histogram question because people wanted, and I don't know which one it is. And really sometimes the first 3 words work, so huge thank you. I did stat 291. So here's the next one, and help me out. Really big thank you to everyone here. We're gonna throw you some more points for being here. The more you practice, the more you learn, and the quicker we go. Okay, so here we go with this one, another accompanying histograms on birth weights, it looks like. And so let's take a look. Describe the shape. This one on the birth, boom, let's do it. Okay, what do we got on the shape right here? Hey, Brian, what do we got on the shape? What do we got on the shape? Talk to me about the Monster Man. Talk to me about Monster Man here. What do we got? Left skewed, tail to the low. McKenna, great job. Left to the low, right to the high. Whatever way, he's always looking at the tail. The Monster Man's tail goes. Quick question. I keep running into a sub question asking about if pies or bar charts are easier to read. Usually bars are easier to read. Excuse me. Usually bars, and then I'll find it for you here, Daryl, and we'll double check the answer. If you think it's not fair, email me and be like, hey, Brian, this wasn't fair. I swear I got it right. I'm pretty nice, especially if you're like, I swear the answer is this, and like you give a good argument, I might give it. You just can't email every, like if someone were to email me every quiz and be like, I swear I'm right on this, I'd be like, actually. But I've had a few students be like, here's my reasoning, here's what I had, and yeah. So it is left skew, right to the high, left to the low, whatever the Monster Man's tail goes. I had a student one semester emailing like every quiz. They're like, I swear I got this right. And I was like, nope. Eventually got to say no. Where is the centrality of data? The centrality of data, known as the modality, is going to be located right here. It's debatable if it's bimodal, but they don't give us the bimodal option. So really what we're looking at is the high-ish 70s. There is a second mode-ish there, I know, but we don't have something that talks about the bimodality of it. So it's really just going to be that there's one mode. The mode isn't in the 80s. The mode is in the mid-70s, mid-high 70s. And we should be good to go. Okay, the accompanying histogram. I guess we got one more on this. This one's super quick. We'll just do this one as an addendum right here. The accompanying histogram, because it's the same idea. And let's look at it. I'll do it real quick. It's left skewed. So this one's on the homework too. The mean follows the skew, so the median will be larger. For anyone who's wondering this visually, we draw this out every time just to make sure you know it. What does the mean do? Say it in chat for some points. What does the mean do? What does the mean do? How does the mean do? What does the mean do? The mean does what? It follows the skew. Grayson knows, which means the median will be higher. The median is going to be higher because the mean goes in the direction of the skew. Great job right there, Daryl and Grayson. Good memorization for the test. Since it's left skewed, the mean's going to be lower. Median will be higher because it's left skewed. And since it's skewed, the median should be used because the distribution is skewed. Once again, these are pretty quick if you know them, but we practice here. Census Bureau and author collected. Okay, tell me if you see yours. Body fat, running times. I'm looking for the company histograms. We haven't done that one, but we're gonna. A body fat one. Do we not? No. No one asked body fat one. US shoe sizes. Clerk. Oh man, where is it? Ooh. these are a little more fun. Is this one of them? Nope. Can we do shoe sizes? Yeah, let's do shoe sizes, because this one trips people up. I thought someone might have asked these one. Where's the, do you know the number? Barn Pie, if you saw the number, let me know the number. Like, you're like, oh, number 13, because you can tell me my number. I'll know my number. Let's do the shoe size one right here. And so I'm going to take the quick note on it, the shoe size, and we're just going to keep rocking and rolling. And if we're not doing your question, just hang out and take in that knowledge. So 4213. I actually tried to make this where I could put all the time. I used to do timestamps later, and that was a nightmare. I'd be like at home for like 30 minutes doing timestamps. Do that one. Which one? Jordan, did you see the number? I said it was bimodal. Let's take a look. I guess it might be, and you know what it might be? It might be underlying distributions. This is a tricky one. I don't love it. I think you're right about the bimodality, because shoe size, well, what the heck is even this? Because shoe size is usually like 10 to 11s or whatever. We probably have like one distribution here, and then we probably have another distribution here, like building up. Like, wow, that was the worst I ever draw. If you look at their overlap, it's going to create this area there. So I think we do have a little bit of bimodality to it, like two underlying distributions that are kind of being stacked on top of each other. So it's European, so fancy numbers. Grayson, let's put that as a quote of the day. It's European, so fancy numbers. I like that. I guess that's how they do it, right? So I would say there is bimodality to it. Okay, I'm worried about that. That's I think this is it. It is bimodal, but this also speaks to it being bimodal. Okay, that is, because if it's bimodal, you can still use standard deviation. It's symmetric, though. This is really a meh question. I'm not a huge fan of this one. And we hit a few that I don't like. So quote 520 right there. It's European, so it's fancy numbers. I just didn't, statistically speaking, I didn't like the idea of, since it's bimodal, don't use standard deviation. That doesn't follow. Does that make sense? Like the logic of it's bimodal, so don't use standard deviation is not something I would say. So it is bimodal-ish, but then the idea of don't use standard deviation because of that is like, well, no, we don't say that. So
it doesn't matter.
Not a big deal. Okay, we have more to go. Here, I'm gonna go from the end of it. Study looked at running times. What? Okay, here we go. A study looked at running times, and I'm taking the timestamp. So someone wanted this one. Keep dropping more questions in. I will keep doing them. We're doing about 3 to 4 minutes of questions, so just keep hanging out and see how they're done. So describe the spread of running times. The middle blank percent. Now this goes to what is called the IQR hockey question. Let me add hockey question here. So when you hear the IQR, I want to draw it for you. You ready? This is what the IQR looks like. So write this down if you don't know what the IQR is. The IQR looks like this. Where's the interquartiles on this? Would it be quarter 1, 2, 3, or 4? Where are the interquarters? Where are the interquarters? Where are the interquarters? And I don't worry if you know what IQR is mathematically, because I'm going to change it. Yeah. Yeah, which one's Daryl? I'll do your next, Daryl. Oh, is it possible? Yeah, I'll answer that next. You're correct. It's the inter ones, right? So when we talk about the mathematics to do this, what we have right here is what we call Q1, because at this point you've added up 1/4. What we have over here is Q3, because you've added up 3/4 of the data. So what does it mean to be through 3/4 of the data? It would make more sense if I show you visually to say the following. Here are grades on a test, put in order. I guess that was the highest grade. So here, does everyone understand these are grades on a pretty tough test? Who follows me, yes or no, that these are grades on a pretty tough test? Because I think you understand grades on tests, right? So you're like, oh man, it's a small class and these are grades on a pretty tough test. Everyone follow? Sound good? So now if I analyze this data with analyzed distribution, which we can use for other assignments, we analyze the test grades and we can see the IQR. Oof, those numbers. Let me try to make this pretty right over here. Okay. I'm gonna make this pretty, and then we're gonna answer this question. I want somebody to tell me, when I make this a little bit better, what the IQR is. Good. What is the IQR now? Perfect. What is the IQR? What is the IQR? And the IQR visually is about that, probably. Nope. What is the IQR? Does anyone know what the IQR is, like mathematically? Try to solve it over here, what the IQR is. What is the range of the middle 50% of the data? Just try to think through it. It is, but what is the mathematical answer, Grayson? So I want, if you figure it out, you'll be like, oh, that's how we do it. Yes, and technically it'll be 84 minus 70 because it'll be a positive number. But if you just remember, you can subtract them either which way.
It doesn't matter.
And then just remember it's positive. You can also use jump to find these things. If you don't know how to find it, you can just say to jump, show me the customized summary statistics. And you can go right here to interquartile range to get it, wherever IQR is at. I can't find it right now. IQR, really? How am I blurring my eyes this much? Interquartile range, there it is. Doesn't say IQR. And there it is right there, 14. Exactly, Grayson. You got it. Great job, Daryl, too. And does it make sense that what percent of students are in the IQR? Do you see it over here visually? As best I could do, because I think I did it properly, it's the middle 50% of students. So think about what Q3 means. It's the 75th percentile. 25% of students score above Q3. And then if you go to Q1, which is Q1 right here, 25% of students score below Q1. Does this make sense kind of seeing it now, what Q1 means? It means 25% of students score below you. And great job, Grayson, on the equation. Q3 minus Q1. The distance between where the 75th percentile people are and the 25th percentile, the range of the middle 50%, the IQR. So it's really just like a range, because what's the formula for range? Last question, I'm going to solve this problem. What is the formula for range? Does anyone know how to do that? You might have learned it previously. To do range, it's just what minus what. What is the formula for range? IQR is Q3 minus Q1. Range is just what minus what. So the IQR, it's max minus min. So the IQR is just big number minus small number here. And that's the IQR for range. And then the range itself is just big number minus small number. Does it make sense why we call it the range of the middle 50%? Like how far apart is the 75th and 25th percentile? And right now I've drawn on the screen pretty much the 5-number summary. So that's the key learning objectives right here. Try drawing these out for yourselves to understand, and try to look at the visuals to help you get the concepts down to understand how we compute these numbers. So now we need to look here. It is the range of the middle 50%, because that's what the IQR is. It's the range of the middle 50%. You can see Q1 to Q3. On average, movie lengths varied from the runtime. On average, movie lengths varied from the mean, because we're talking about the standard deviation. Standard deviation, I'll go into more detail on another section, but standard deviation is a standard deviation from the mean. And I guess the super easy way, standard deviation formula. If you look at the standard deviation formula, what it actually has in here, in the standard deviation formula, we look at how far, really, images, 2 seconds. Now they're showing population. That's fine. All right, 1 second. In the formula for standard deviation, which we will not solve, they are seeing how far the observations differ from the mean. So a standard deviation is a typical distance from the mean. More on that later, but mathematically, you're looking at the sum of the squares of the distances from the mean, and that's sample standard deviation, but you just need to know it's a typical distance from the mean. Since the distribution appears to be, I'm a little worried. I'm saying it's a monster man, though, since it appears to be what skewed? Ooh, little monster man here. Yeah, I know, right, Daryl? We give you formation. This is scary. I might get one wrong. It might be a right skew monster man. It's a little, but we got that high outlier over there. Since it's little right skew and high outlier, let's see. Since it appears to be skewed to the right, there would be concerns using these descriptors for these data, which would be misleading. So which would be misleading? Which would be misleading? The way they answer this. Yeah, so it's talking about standard deviation and IQR. So remember, if data is skewed, the standard deviation might be misleading. I think we got it. Whoo! Because if it's skewed, we use IQR because the standard deviation is being heavily influenced. Think the mean is impacted by large outliers and the standard deviation is calculated from the mean. That was a tricky one. That was a little longer. Daryl, let me see. Daryl said a question. I want to make sure I answer it. I asked a question a few lines up. Yeah. Is it possible to be symmetric and skewed? No. Good question, Daryl. Let me throw some points for that. You're either symmetric or skewed because it was a graph that seems mostly symmetric but has an outlier that is separate from this. It might have been that one. Then you might just say it's symmetric with an extreme value. Skewness can be due to outliers, but you might just say this is mostly symmetric with an extreme value. So good question. I like that one right there. It was that one. It almost caught me. I was a little worried. Okay, we got the author collected. We got time for a little bit more right here. We got a lot on this quiz. Yeah, that one's... I could show that to a bunch of statisticians and some of them might say that's normal-ish. That was a much longer question. We added a little mini lecture in it. Okay. An author collected data in minutes or whatever about his run times. Now, as you get older, you get water. Who knows? As you get older, you get water. I mean, I'd love to have the reverse happen, but as you get older, you get water. What happens to your run times? He's probably his older. Let's say an Olympic athlete who became an author. You're right, Daryl. Sad times, right? An Olympic athlete who became an author collected his run times going from his 20s, 30s to 40s. And for 10K races, 10Ks. This would be a 10K for a really good professional athlete. Yeah, like that's sub 30 and a 10K is nuts. So an Olympic athlete who became an author, or just say Olympic athlete collected their run times from their 20s to 30s to 40s on their 10Ks. So this would be each of their 10Ks they ran. So they have a bunch of 10Ks around 30, then they got this insane times, and then a little slower, but still times I can't run. So with this, what do we see right here? This distribution is skewed to the right. I gotta draw Monster Man. You can't not draw Monster Man. There's a Monster Man. Here's a Monster Man. Everywhere is a Monster Man. 100% right skew Monster Man. We already know it because we know Monster Man. Draw your Monster Man right to the high, left to the low, whatever way that Monster Man's tail goes. And so here we are. According to the army, you should get faster. Woo! I think you told me that, Daryl, right? Daryl, I need to know what the requirements are. I'm wondering if I could make it. I don't want to make it. I think I've aged out. But I wonder if I could do enough pull-ups, sit-ups, push-ups. If you tell me the requirements, I wonder if I could do it. Like that, I'd like that if I knew I could do it. It is unimodal. It's got one bump right there. Most of the times around the 30s. 30s right here. It's not hard. Could I meet the Marine standard? The exact bin is 30 to 30.5. It's centered around 30 to 30.5. So there we go. We're looking at the sharp peak right there. If people wonder what we're looking at. With most observations between blank and blank. 29 to 31. Come up with your, there we go, 29 to 32. See, come up with your answer before you check out theirs. 28's too low, and 30 would not go enough. Like 28 to 30 is there. 29 to 32 is the bulk of the data. Over a 10-year period, the runner may have slowed down due to injuries or aging. I don't know why it's a multi-select, really. It's much easier to run slower, too. I forgot there's one more on that. It's much easier to run slower than to run faster. So it's you can't break like a 20-minute 10K. Maybe you could, I don't know. They relax them so much lately that if you're active and don't stop, you can do it. Okay. I got a pull-up bar for my birthday, and I want to do some pull-ups. Do a muscle up. If I could do that, I'd be happy. Before I'm 50. Get a muscle up. I've never done one. I went to the T-Rex one, not the T-Rex, went to the climbing wall And because they had a good pull-up bar, they had one of the Rogue pull-up bars, the really nice ones. Find the rest of these questions here. And the guy there was like, he's like, I don't know if I could do a muscle up. The company, yeah, you got it. He's like, I don't know if I could do a muscle up. And then he like grabbed the bar and did a muscle up. And I was like, yep, you can do one. I can't. Good. It was cool. I was very proud of him. He was like, I don't know if I can do it. And then he was like, yeah, I guess I can do it. He's a rock climber. I'm not a rock climber. During his 20 seasons, the hockey question. Here we go. Okay. I got to take the timestamp. I think we have enough time to do the rest of these questions, and we should have a lot of these done now. If you don't see your current question on here, we missed it. I do have videos where I do all the questions, or about as many as I can do during these time frames. Body fat, we'll try to throw that one in here. I'm looking for the timestamp 57:33. And thank you, Grayson and Daryl and everyone for being here. Let's do this one. During his 20 seasons in the NHL, Wayne Gretzky scored 50% more points than anyone in hockey. He accomplished this while only playing 280 games, fewer than Gordie Howe. Let's take a look at the data. It's a stem and leaf. So what does 8-0 represent? That is a season where Wayne Gretzky got what? This might be real data right here. What does 8-0 represent? It's a stem and leaf. What does 8-0 represent? What does this right there represent? Table to the right? Mm-hmm. That is a season where Wayne Gretzky scored 80 points. And he has a lot of seasons. That's actually the mode in the data set and creates the modal area. But be very careful. What kind of monster man we're looking at here? What kind of monster man we looking at? This is a in disguise monster man. Does anyone know what kind of monster man this is? Is it a right skewed or left skewed monster man? What are we looking at? Oh, there you go. What kind of monster man are we looking at? I go back and look at the data. What kind of monster man is this? People get this wrong all the time on this one. What kind of monster man is this? You got it, Daryl. Nice job. So a lot of people do this with it and they say right skewed, but look at it, the number line's reversed. 40 skewed to the left. Exactly. So a lot of people just flip it like that because they're like, wait, it's right skewed. And I say, but the number line's reversed. So you actually have to flip it like this because the 40s is the low side. That's what we say, right to the high, left to the low, whatever way the monster man's tail goes. And these are his low seasons right there. A lot of people get that one wrong because it is, you have to make sure you understand the low side right there. It's just tricky to look at sometimes. So it's low skew because it's being the tail towards the low side. Okay, so which should we use, mean or median? Since it's skewed, we should definitely use the median, which we're going to find out here. Should be summarized since the distribution is heavily skewed. Since it is skewed, we are using the median, and it's 20 seasons. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. We like to do a balancing act right here. What is the position of the median if there's 20 seasons? The position of the median, if there's 20 seasons, will be position number what? The position of the median, if there's 20 seasons, will be position number what? You put 10 here, you put 10 here. Not quite 10, Daryl, good guess. We'll throw you some points. 10 would be if there was 21 seasons, because then you'd have this observation there, which would be the 11th observation. Or no, 10 would be if it's 19 seasons, right? I think so. Yeah, 19 would be if it's. So since it's an even amount, we have to average together observation 10 and 11. It'll be the 10.5. So this is numbers 11 through 20. And this is numbers 1 through 10. Does that make sense, Daryl, right there? It'll be the 10.5th observation. No, don't worry. It's the best thing you can do a lot of times if you're really worried is start writing them down like in a row. Like start writing them down and then make sure you find the middle one if they exist. Like if you have 4 numbers, it's really easy, like 1, 3, 5, and 8. You can just average together the middle numbers. So that's easier. But now we count here and we get to the 10.5th number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there they are. So it's 9, 9. So what is the answer for the median? That's the numbers 10 and 11 in the order of numbers occurring. So what is the median with 9, 9? What is the median? What would it be? That's the 10th and 11th numbers. It's 79 because that's what they represent. They represent 79. So it's going to be 79. And don't worry, it's just practice. We don't do big data sets on the test. We give you like 8 points, I think. Without actually finding the mean, would you expect it to be higher or lower? Now it's left skewed. So what does the mean do? Since it's left skewed, we got some left skew right here. It's left skew and the mean. So what do you think? The mean will be what? Without finding it, the mean will be what? So without finding it, the mean would be what to the median because of the left skew? The mean will be lower due to the left skew. Yep. And the mean will be lower than the median because the distribution is skewed to the left. If it's symmetric, it'll be the same. So that's why they had the same on there if you say it was symmetric. Table to the right gives the number of passengers. I think that is a calculation one. So we should do one of those because they require jump. So let me find that one. That's a really good one to do. No one has this one? No one has those? Those are tough. Not tough. Just take them out. Number of passengers. I'm trying to find passengers. We have in-person office hours coming up here in a moment. Oh, wait, that was military planes or something, right? Oh, yeah, plane crash. Here we go. Here we go. I got one of those when I was confused. Yeah, use jump. Totally use jump. Yeah. Jordan, do you want to do that one here? We could end with that. We have just enough time. Sorry if I didn't do Peel's questions. We got a lot done. Let me make sure this is saved because sometimes I forget to save the notes. And really good work. Okay. I did. Nice job. Thank you everyone for being here. Remember, just join in, ask your questions, get the work done, and then you get your Friday nights off or whenever it's due. Is it reasonable to conclude that weather or mechanical failures cause about 23% of the crashes? Weather's 11%, mechanical failures 12%. Yeah, there's no overlap. It's good. Why do these numbers add up to 101? You get that sometimes because, can you do the data table one? Tell me the start of it again, Grayson. No, you could, don't, of course. Sometimes decimal differences don't round properly. Like this might be 4.4, 5.4, 11.4. Just the way the numbers are rounded. So they're rounded to the nearest whole percent. If several categories are rounded up, that could do it. Create an appropriate distribution. This is a bar graph right here. So we look for where category A and B are the most common. And notice right here, it's A and B are the most common. So it's got to be this because A is the most common. B is the second most common. You see this area here. This is not a monster man. This is a bar graph. I want to repeat, that's not a histogram because histograms have what on the bottom of them? Histograms don't have categories. Histograms have a what line? Like this has that. That's a stem and leaf, which is a univariate display of quantitative data. Bar charts are categorical, and great job, Daryl, right there. That is going to be when we see bar charts, it has categories, bar chart right there. So really good review. I know we've went over that. Really. No, it's not error. I'm just gonna see it. It's not this one. I got that one. Yeah, I got that one right. I said this earlier. Check out earlier office hour videos or just this today where I got this same thing wrong. There's no overlap. I said that. I said it, Pearson. I said that. Come on. I did not. Come on, Pearson. I said it out loud. I don't have to click the right button. I'll just say the answer. Oh, gosh. Did you want we could end with one of the data ones because people get stuck on those like this right here. Yeah, the accompanying data table. The data table accompanying, yeah. So these are actually pretty easy. And you know what I'm actually going to do? Actually, in truth, these are easier in Excel. Like you'd be shocked. You'd be shocked right here. So get Excel open on your computer. And a little bit of Excel skills. We did an Excel over break. Yeah, I'll show you jump in Excel way of solving this. So I'm going to solve this one right here. Make sure it has the exact name on it. We're going to show how to solve this in Jump and Excel for our last question today. The data in the accompanying table. Okay, so this will be our last question right here. Thank you, everybody. Oh, there, someone asked this one anyways. It's right here. And we might have did all but one question. The 2015 council one we didn't do, but I do have a video on that, I know. Okay, so let me take the note on this, and then we're going to do it in, what should we do first? Jump or Excel, you name it. I'll do both solves to show how to solve it in both. you name it, and this is just like other questions too that ask you to do this. Jump or Excel, you name it. I'll do whichever one first, whoever says it. Someone's just say either one. No, but come on, just tell me which one to do. Jump. Okay, you ready? So in Jump, I want you to do the following. You ready? Go to Jump and go to File, New, Data Table. File, New, Data Table. Now here's the thing. When you click this, don't click inside of it. Everyone goes right here and says, I'm going to click it. Don't do it. It can cause issues. Don't click inside of it. Don't do it. Okay. So now that we have that open, we're going to go to the data by clicking here and go to the top and go to Copy into Clipboard. Copy to Clipboard. Click here, click there, copy to Clipboard. Notice, yes or no, type a Y or N in the chat. Is there a column name here? Do you see a name at the top telling you what kind of variable it is, which is very important to note before pasting this? Do you see a name at the top of it? Like where it says like a name up here, like some sort of like tornado desk or something? Yes or no? Do you see, or is it just a number? No. So there's no column names. That's important for pasting data into Jump. We're going to hit Control-C or Command-C, and now it's floating around in the computer, and then we're going to go back over here into Jump to our sheet, which we did not click inside of. And then we're going to go to Edit, Paste. Notice how there's Paste with column names, if it had a column name, which we would see at the top, but we're just doing Paste. And you know you've done this correctly. That was Edit, Paste, or Control-V or Command-V. But if you paste with column names, you'll have to do Edit, Paste with column names. So notice it's pasted correctly in here. If you have the following, it is not pasted correctly. Just paste it. This one you just paste, no column name paste. And so now that we have it here correctly, we're going to go to Analyze Distribution. Analyze Distribution. Under Analyze Distribution, we're just going to double click the variable. Click, click. So that was Analyze Distribution. Double click the variable. Now we're going to click OK. We're going to click the top red arrow to make it pretty and go to Stack. Top red arrow, the red arrows are where the options are at, and go to Stack. Now we're going to do the following. Second red arrow over here, Customize Summary Statistics. Now this just makes our lives easier. We should still know how to calculate these things. I believe they ask us for the IQR, so just click the IQR. If they ask us for the range, click the range. Anything they ask us, Jump's pretty much got it in here. I think they only ask us the IQR. They might ask the range. Let's go ahead and click OK. Now the values are displayed. Let me get a side-by-side view going right here so we can enter in the numbers. Okay, I think we're good to go. Cross your fingers. Sometimes Jump does a different IQR calculation, but pretty much from here, it's just what is the mean to two decimals? 113.47. Please tell me if I type something in incorrectly. The median is 67. The right skew is greatly increasing the mean. The Q1 is right here. It says Q1. I do hope this is not an issue. Jump or Pearson, you better play nice. Now, how do we get the range? The range, which is 487, is just max minus min. I got to do in-person office hours here in a moment. And then the IQR is going to be Q3 right here minus Q1. So these have a difference of 119. It's just the big number minus the small number. So you should still know how to find these, that the range is max minus min. And the IQR is Q3 minus Q1. And you cross your fingers and you get 100. There you go. It is good to use Jump. There used to be a problem with this one. I don't know if it still exists. If you think your numbers are wrong or it says you're wrong, let us know. This one used to have an issue because there's a weird thing where there's like 9 ways to calculate Q1 and Q3. And because of that, you can sometimes see discrepancies with the answers because statisticians are like, this is how we should calculate Q3. No, this is how we should calculate Q3. And there's 9 different ideas. So because of those different ideas on calculations, I have seen errors before on this one. I like the question. It's a good, like, calculate things. But the fact that it sometimes gets you an error just drives me absolutely nuts. Ugh. How did people get it? And remember, this is recorded, so you can check it out anytime and watch those steps again with paste your data into Jump. Make sure you paste it correctly, and then analyze distribution. And once you analyze distribution, stack it to make it look nice. Points with an upside down exclamation. That might not do it. But we'll throw you a few more points. Daryl and everyone and Grayson, thank you for being here. I'm about to do in-person office hours, so you can always swing by the in-person office hours too. Say hey, ask questions. Daryl, Grayson, everyone is here. Keep up the great work. Bye for now, everyone. Bye. Let me do a different outro. I'm going to do a different outro. Closings. Here we go. Bye for now. Bye. Bye, Grayson. Bye, Daryl.
Hey Brian, what's up?
Hey, Adam.
Oh, what's this?
Adam, what are you doing? Adam!
No!